Game day scoreboard rolling on here on HQ as these evening games come to a close. Joe Musso pleased to be alongside the two-time champ in Bryant McFadden. B-Mac?
Yes, sir.
Had some rookie quarterbacks, had some veteran quarterbacks, had the CBS game of the week. We're going to bring you it all, but we begin with a performance by a rookie that is certainly cause for some note.
No question.
Bo Nix balling throughout with the Broncos. A near no contest over the Atlanta Falcons here. His final of 4 passing touchdowns on this day to Lil Jordan Humphrey. Lil Jordan, big game. That was the story of the day for Nix, who went 307, 4 touchdowns,
yes,
and a passer rating of 145 as the domination of the NFC South continues. Denver 4-0 against the South. Remember, that is the head coach in Sean Payton's former division, so a point of pride there for the head man who has put his quarterback in a position to succeed. Denver, despite that gut-wrenching loss to Kansas City just a week ago, back off the mat and running by the Atlanta Falcons. All right, Mac, that's exactly where I want to take you here, because we've seen certain teams, and the Bears come to mind, deal with those types of losses this year and not deal with them well. For the Broncos to have gone through what they went through, thinking they had a win over the Chiefs, bringing the rivals' win streak to a close, and then that happens, to prepare the way they did and then execute the way they did on this day. That's the makeup of a championship team. I'm not saying that's what's in front of the Broncos, but that is certainly the type of football they played on this day.
And no question, it identifies their head coach. Sean Payton coached football, and he has the locker room. He has the respect of the locker room, because you talked about having a young ball club. Don't forget about the week before losing to the Chiefs. They traveled to the Baltimore Ravens, and it wasn't even competitive. So the last 2 weeks before this matchup, they were losing in different fashions, ugly and close, based on that blocked field goal. So today, they put forth their best effort. Bo Nix, I know we've been raving about Jaden Daniels, the rookie quarterback for the Commanders, as the lead dog in terms of Rookie of the Year.
And those numbers have leveled out a little bit, and Nix heading
You got to throw Bo Nix's name into that conversation now, because he's really played his way to have a legit case, especially today. 307 yards, 4 touchdowns, super efficient. We know what he can do as a mobile quarterback, but I'm loving the growth that I'm seeing from Bo Nix, working from within the pocket. Sean Payton had a great game dialed up against Atlanta. Atlanta did not have any positive success against Bo Nix. Look at these numbers. 4 for 4 in the red zone. I talked about having 300 yards through the air for Bo Nix. Offensively, 400 yards total. They had 22 first downs in this matchup compared to 13 by the Atlanta Falcons. They were playing high-level ball offensively for the Broncos. And lo and behold, luckily they took their foot off the gas, because they probably could have put up close to 50 points if they kept their foot on the gas, but finished with 38, which is a huge game.
Massive game, massive moment. Denver's defense also showing up the fewest points allowed in a game since a shutout against the Jets in 2021. Just 6 points allowed in this matchup. You said the word growth, and that's the word we've been using when talking about Bo Nix, because of how he was onboarded here, what the playbook looked like in week 1 and what it looks like now. At what point do we take that conversation of growth and start heralding this as a quarterback that you can move forward and win with? I know it's too early to write off any of these quarterbacks. It's too early to crown any of them as well. But this is a young man who's taking these opportunities and just building one on top of the other. When do we talk about this as, okay, they got the guy?
Right now.
The guy.
You know, we kind of flirted with the idea that they had the guy when he earned the job during preseason, but he's earned the right to be called the guy. And when you look at this quarterback class of high-level players that we, applauded for their efforts, when you look at where Bo Nix was drafted, of course, with J.J. McCarthy not playing a meaningful snap because of an injury, he's kind of outperformed his peers. Now, granted, Michael Penix is sitting behind Kirk Cousins, but when you look at the other players that have performed as a rookie, Bo Nix is right there with the cream of the crop, who has been Jaden Daniels, in my opinion. And most importantly, guys, it's one thing to put forth great numbers as an individual, but it's another thing when those numbers resonates to wins.
Yeah, when that equals team success.
Equal team success. They're currently 6-5. The next 3 games they have coming up: the Raiders, the Browns, and the Colts. Winnable games, especially when you look at their defense. And if the Chargers have a slip-up or 2, they can be right there with the Chargers. Of course, everyone is chasing the Kansas City Chiefs in their division, and we don't see a huge slip-up coming from the Chiefs. But you still have an opportunity, if you're Denver Broncos, to finish best-case scenario #2 in your division, and that should warrant it that should warrant a playoff spot.
Yeah, now 6-5, a big player in that AFC playoff positioning. Bo Nix playing his best football in this small sample size we do have. On the other side, Atlanta's got issues.
Yes, they do.
Atlanta's got big issues. After those injuries for the Buccaneers, we sort of sat here. It was Atlanta doing what they were doing and nobody else. The Saints were having their issues on a losing streak. Your other divisional mate in the Carolina Panthers, we knew what that was going to be. It was all right there for Atlanta's taking. And since we sort of made those statements, this is a team that can't do anything right. Kirk Cousins having issues, the offense struggling to move the ball. What is their biggest issue right now, Mac?
Well, today they couldn't protect Kirk Cousins, and that's usually the case against most offenses that face off against the Denver Broncos. But defensively, I mean, when you look at what we saw today from Bo Nix against the Atlanta Falcons, the defense side, I mean, that's not playoff caliber football. You would think the Atlanta Falcons could be more efficient and sound in the red area. The Broncos were 4 for 4 today in the red zone, 100%. That's not winning football for Atlanta. So the last 2 weeks have been probably the worst football that we've watched from Atlanta. Last week, losing to the New Orleans Saints, right? And then this week, coming off a loss to a divisional foe. You never had an opportunity in this ball game. Got blown out 38-6. So for Atlanta, I understand you had a nice, comfortable lead within your division a few weeks ago. But I can tell you this much. With Tampa getting healthy, you do not want to squander away winning opportunities and make this thing extremely close within your division against the Buccaneers, because Baker Mayfield has been playing lights out. And if he gets Mike Evans back and they get healthier as a team, we know Chris Godwin won't return this season, but just having the addition of Mike Evans makes them instantly better. And this could come down to the wire because of missed opportunities by the Atlanta Falcons, especially from what they missed the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, definitely opportunity to distance themselves in the division. They don't take it. We'll see what happens when Mike Evans comes back. But Tampa almost forced to develop a run game.
And they have a winnable schedule coming off their bye as well.
Very much so. We're going to dive into those playoff pictures coming up on CBS Sports HQ. But we got more to bring you here on Game Day Scoreboard. So we take a look at the Broncos against that NFC South. Again, unblemished, a feather in the cap of Sean Payton.